I never thought a routine trip to the hair salon would become a turning point in my life. You see, for me, that wig wasn't just hair, it was armor. After months of chemo, endless doctor visits, and nights I didn't think I'd wake up from, I had finally decided to step back into the world. And I chose a quiet little salon on Westfield Avenue to start that journey. The place had a calm, cozy feel to it. The faint scent of coconut shampoo mixed with the sound of hair dryers and light jazz playing in the background. People in the waiting area were either flipping through magazines, scrolling on their phones, or chatting softly. I picked a chair in the corner, hoping to stay invisible, fingers lightly resting on my lap, heart thumping louder than the music. That's when she walked in. Tall, overly made up, strutting like she owned the place. Her name, I later found out, was Colleen. She had this expensive bag, knockoff or not I couldn't tell, and a chip on her shoulder you could see from space. She sat 2 chairs away from me, gave me a look up and down, then leaned toward her friend and whispered. Except she wasn't really whispering. Some people just can't let go of pretending. I mean, it's just a wig. Grow your real hair or stay home. Her friend giggled. I felt the room change. It wasn't loud, but it was enough for half the waiting room to hear it and enough to send a hot wave crawling up my neck. I clenched my hands. My first instinct was to leave. Pretend I forgot my appointment, run out to my car, cry where nobody could see me. But I didn't. I sat there and let the shame burn through me. The wig I wore had taken me weeks to choose. It wasn't vanity. It was survival. I wanted to feel a little normal again, like the old me. Or at least like someone who could walk down the street without strangers staring like they knew my pain. Colleen wasn't done. She crossed her legs dramatically and said, louder this time, "Why come out looking like that and make everyone uncomfortable? If you can't face the world without fake hair, maybe you shouldn't be out in public." A few people looked at her, then at me. Some uncomfortable, some unsure. The receptionist paused mid-call, eyes flicking between us. Nobody said a word. I looked at the floor, willing myself not to cry. But then, something snapped. Not in anger. In clarity. I lifted my head, turned slightly, and said calmly, "This wig? It's not a costume. It's part of me. I lost my hair fighting for my life. And I'm proud to be here, scars and all." The room went still. Her friend looked away. Colleen opened her mouth, but said nothing. That should have been the end of it. But Colleen couldn't stand not having the last word. She scoffed, rolled her eyes, and said, yeah, play the victim card. Everybody's got something. Doesn't mean you get a pity party every time you step outside." I was about to stand when someone beat me to it. A man mid-50s, bald, flannel shirt, reading a paperback earlier stood up and looked Colleen straight in the eye. "Lady, maybe the problem isn't her hair. Maybe it's your heart." Gasps. The whole salon froze. He turned to me. "Ma'am, you look strong to me. And I hope my wife was going through the same fight you did has half your grace." A young mother nearby handed me a tissue. The receptionist finally stepped out from behind the desk. "Ma'am," she said to Colleen, voice calm but firm, "we have a zero tolerance for harassment. If you can't respect our clients, you'll need to leave." Colleen's smirk faltered. I was just being honest. People are too sensitive these days. But the manager had already come out. Her name tag read Amanda. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "Colleen, you've made multiple people uncomfortable. Either you leave now, or we call security." That was it. Colleen stood up with all the drama of a soap opera character and stormed out, muttering about free speech and snowflakes. And just like that, the room exhaled. The kindness that followed was quiet but steady. A woman shared that her sister had also worn a wig after treatment. The stylist who called me and offered a warm smile and a hand on my shoulder. In that small space, what started as cruelty turned into something else. Solidarity. During my appointment, my stylist Angela didn't ask a single invasive question. She just talked to me like a person, not a patient. She brushed and styled my wig with the same care and attention she would give anyone else. She even said, "This cut is going to frame your strength just right." I left that day a little taller. Not because of what I said, but because others refused to stay silent. That mattered. That changed something. Later that week, Amanda called to check in on me. She told me they were starting a new salon policy, staff training on sensitivity and inclusion, a bulletin board with resources for those facing medical hair loss, and even freestyling sessions for cancer survivors once a month. Turns out, that confrontation wasn't just about me. It started something bigger. And funny enough, it all began with a wig. So let me ask you, have you ever seen someone put down for something they couldn't control? Did you speak up? Or did you wish you had? Tell me below. Because kindness? It doesn't have to be loud. But when it shows up, it echoes. The sun had already started its quiet descent when I finally stepped outside. That salami feet felt light, not because the day had been easy, but because something inside me had shifted. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I knew what was behind me, a room full of strangers who decided, in a single afternoon, that cruelty didn't get to win, not that day. And the woman who tried to cut me down with her words? She was nothing more than an echo now, a hollow sound fading in the rearview mirror of a life that refused to stop moving forward. I didn't carry her with me, but I did carry the kindness, the quiet nods, the soft glances, the strength in strangers standing up not just for me, but for what was right. In the days that followed, something strange happened. People who'd been sitting in that lobby started reaching out. Some left messages with the salon, others posted on social media. A woman who'd lost her sister to cancer messaged me, saying, "I wish someone had stood up for her like they did for you." Another person, a teenager going through chemo, wrote, "I didn't think I could leave the house. I do now." And that's when I realized maybe that moment, so small, so painful, was never just about me. Maybe it was a mirror for every person who's ever been told they don't belong, for anyone who's been made to feel less than because their scars are visible. Eventually, I agreed to speak at a local community event. Nothing big, just a gathering at the library. I brought the wig with me, not to wear but to hold. And I told them what happened. I told them how words can bruise just as hard as fists, but how compassion can mend even deeper wounds. I closed that talk with the same words I'll leave you with here. You never know what someone else is fighting. So if you have the choice to be cruel or to be kind, choose kind. Every time. Because one act of empathy, one moment of standing up, can be the beginning of someone's healing. And for those who've been hurt, been mocked, judged, or made to feel ashamed for simply surviving, you're not alone. Your strength is real. Your story matters. So what do you think? Have you ever witnessed cruelty like this or stood up against it? Have you ever been judged for something no one could see, or maybe something they couldn't understand? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about what dignity really means. And if this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to be reminded. Resilience isn't always loud. Sometimes, it looks like a woman sitting silently in a salon refusing to be broken.